Above and below, calm, quiet sky of Kata 2. The Imperium is restless. Above it, a billion worlds, lives uncountable, Freyaps and travel, a galaxy unkind, rent in twain by the warp-made manifest, the Cicatrix Maledictum. Below, Kata 2 is fraught with political discourse, assassination, kidnapping, bombing, gang wars, and a brother who couldn't quite keep a promise. But beneath all of that, 4 souls stand ready, 4 devoted individuals prepared to crack open a mystery, save a planet, and perhaps even a galaxy. Good morning, afternoon, and or evening, all of you of the internet. I welcome you back to Neon Lights Roleplay, and more specifically, I welcome you back to By His Shadowed Peace, our Wrath and Glory epic, with a very chill vibe for intro today. I'm your host, Foxy, and I have with me 4 daring souls, 4 knowledgeable individuals, 4, dare I say, inquisitive acolytes, here to wrought his justice upon the unworthy, the mutant, the heretic, the unclean. I can tell you all about them as I have the dossiers in front of me, but before I do that, I'll do the smart thing and just let them do that themselves. So, acolytes, in the order that I call you out, please go ahead and tell the internet who you are, who you're playing tonight, and what do you think is weighing most heavily on your acolyte tonight? Let's start with the internet sensation himself. I'm, of course, talking about the one and the only Turk Accented.
Sensation, I suppose, in some ways.
You heard me, asshole.
I did, but it doesn't mean I believe it. Anyway, I am Turk, or Turk accented. Have you the heart to speak it? And I will be playing Zadkiel Delos of the Mentors chapter. And, okay, weighing most heavily on him right now. Well, probably... Well, a lot of things. Probably the frequency in which he's dipping into the red thirst, which is not something a Lamenter should really be able to do. And in addition to that, the genuine possibility of encountering corrupted Astartes, though his founding was post-heresy, it still is that kind of generational guilt and trauma of seeing fallen brethren. Because, the Lamenters have encountered a chapter, successor chapter that has gone, traitor as well. Seeing chat. I appreciate it, and I hear you. I am stalking you respectfully. Anyway, take it away.
The Red Thirst, ancient blood flaw of the Blood Angels chapter. A call to feast upon the blood of friend or foe. What then is a loyal servant of the Imperium to do when the call to bloodshed is written in his very DNA? I don't fucking know, but Michelle might.
I don't know. I don't think I would know. Hi, I'm Michelle. Today I'll be playing Aria Yun, our sister hospitale of the Sisters of Battle. I mean, the obvious problem is the fact that she's got a demon in her right now, which is kind of a really big one. But that's maybe, that seems like that does seem like the biggest problem. But I think Aria is a little less about the demon and more of, okay, but like, what the fuck do I do? Because for most people, there is nothing to do. It's die in a blaze of glory. Or alone.
To have the Imperium entwined in one soul. To have a fragment of the demonic, but the enemy, the primordial annihilator, tied to your very being. What choice but extinction? What thought but destruction? And Dan, of course. Dan?
Oh, I didn't. I was so locked into the bringer of destruction and whatever about Michelle. I was
I
like,
know, I'm pretty good at those. Thanks.
anyway, my name's Dan, Land the Dan. And tonight I'm playing Barris Corbin, the local hired gun, the eyes and ears on the ground. I really want to know what's in that dossier now. But what's weighing most on my mind, or Barris's mind, is how to get the one source of hope he has in this world outside of in what is rapidly turning into a war zone.
A little spark of joy we happened to encounter last episode in Darren. A brother's promise is a beautiful thing. To swear safety in a galaxy so bereft of it. To swear light in a world so dark. That reminds me of Meg a little bit, I think.
Hi, I am Meg, Antor Meg Mysteria, and I am playing Laura Talon, otherwise known as Edelgar Talonet. And what is weighing on her is, well, she is working on finding a solution to Aria's demon problem, but also wrestling a bit with this interesting attachment she's starting to feel towards these humans? Astarte? And how she's going to eventually detach herself from them and go about her work once again.
Whether they be Monkai or their gene-twisted kin, humankind is an interesting thing. Your people find them clumsy, brief, violent things. Oh, so accustomed to failing. Just like all of you. Which I guess brings us back to me somehow. I'm Foxy, and I tend to play everyone that's not these four lovely individuals and all the people around them, including all the horrible things you'll find in this galaxy, which is a reminder, friends. The show will include plenty of mentions of violence, bloodshed, possibly very slight mentions of things like torture or some other horrible things, lots of political and otherwise discourse, drama, mentions of supernatural things beyond the pale, possibly some mental instability in some cases as far as people losing their minds to horrible warp entity, and maybe even lots of dying if you weren't curious. If any of that sounds like it's not your taste tonight, please go ahead and find yourself over to the Neon Lights Roleplay YouTube, where you can find all kinds of other great shows to get your teeth into and have a great time with. But otherwise, thanks for checking us out, and let's get right back into it. So, without further ado, Acolytes. Last episode took you all deep into the hive C Primus, deep into the underworld, encountering, well, the truth for some of you, and future for others, the past for at least one. And in the process, as you mowed down the forces of the CP-12 cartel, awakening dark and terrible things in at least one of you, in the aftermath, you've found yourselves prepared to step away. We'll open as you all are back towards, at least near the docking storage landing bay of Hivesync C Primus. It's much less busy this late in the planet's day cycle. In fact, the sun is already crested behind the large mountains that ring C Primus, and now, given that this planet is such concentrated industry, it's too light polluted to see anything but just gray sky ahead of you right now at this time of night. But some of you, certainly the locals, would know. Out there on the plains, this time of night, it can get beautiful. However, you all are not yet outside, as you are waiting inside of the large storage area, tucked over to one side, light barely catching you from a looming globe not too far away. The four of you have a guest, still bound in an auto manacle to keep them from moving too far. A perpetual smug turned, let's say, rankled frustration on their face. And as you stand there, you watch as, almost from an angle you can't really see, from around a corner in smooth militarized fashions, 4 armed individuals, las rifles ready and in pristine condition, uniforms equipped and clean, the inquisitorial rosary eye on their shoulders, and stormtrooper helmets about their faces. Walk, turn, face you all, and step slowly towards you, stopping roughly, let's say 3 or 4 feet from you all.
Is this all your number?
We're a pickup team, Acolyte. Here to grab cargo. They say, another one says, looking over at the still bound Sills. Sills, of course, rolls their eyes. I'm cargo now.
Living cargo is better than the dead ones.
They don't respond to that outright, but they do cut you a very snidey, knife-like kind of like. It's a look. They cut you a very knife-like look, sad, but they seem like they don't necessarily want to try you enough to say anything right now.
She did watch me just absolutely massacre a good, at least, let's be generous for everyone else, 40% of her elite guards, and kind of eat a little bit of them.
It's true you did do that.
Yeah.
Brimrose isn't with you?
Varys, do me a favor. Make an awareness roll for me.
Alrighty. Yes, let me pull up my sheets. Oh no.
What you got?
I got no icons.
Well, it's dark enough then that you don't necessarily notice anything distinct, but obviously you can tell these stormtroopers, Inquisitorial stormtroopers, the rosary isn't the kind of thing you can fake, at least not without paying for it in some very serious crimes if you get caught. You assume these are probably actual stormtroopers, no question. But as you say, like, Brimrose isn't with you, one of them steps closer, and you now can just barely make it out, and you couldn't notice it before. They're not from your task force.
Oh, no.
They're not. Oh no, they're not from. What's her faces? Are they?
If you think Inquisitor Severin,
Yeah.
hard to tell.
Well, she had a pretty significant, like, she had her own kind of style, if I recall. Red robed, half mask. Yeah.
Oh, there she is.
Nope, never mind.
I know.
I just have her being statuesque, muscle, trench coat,
I'll
and
say-
older.
Yeah, I'll say if you're thinking, if you're like looking for any outright sign these guys look like they're with Taskforce Severin, you're not seeing that immediately. But actually, you know what? No, why am I obscuring this? While you didn't think about it at first, the moment you think about that and look at them as they step forward, yeah. Unless some other third Inquisitor has somehow made themselves available in the system and you weren't informed about it, yeah, these are probably Taskforce Severin stormtroopers.
Well, they can have this one.
We appreciate your cooperation.
Uh-oh.
We appreciate you keeping this one under close eye.
Our Inquisitor is kindly to keep eye on all kinds of loose ends, and what's more of a loose end than a ganger?
Agreed. There is more information yet to be pulled from them, I am sure.
Not for long. Two of them, of the two that are speaking to you, remain still. The two that aren't speaking to you come around them, again, very organized military fashion, crisp turn, move, turn, and step in front as they're moving to take Sills from you all.
I'll make no effort to stop them.
I'm sure not.
Sills jostles against like the restraint a little, but not enough to actually put up a fight. As one of them takes them by the arm, and then the other arm, and then just begins to sort of step away. Sills cuts an eye over to Iberis. If you have the gall to think this is over, I will enjoy smiling over your corpse.
I assure you, Sills, I'll be in touch.
They say like they try to like, it almost is like they try to like jump at you one last time, Bear, to see if you'll flinch, but they can't quite make the gesture out before the stormtrooper kind of grabs them up and pulls them a bit more towards the well, again, in whatever direction they appear to be moving. The two who were speaking to you look back. One nods. If that'll be all.
I got nothing.
Me neither.
They turn, they walk away. You should note, in the same way you guys have your two-step phrase you offer to your Inquisitor when you greet him as a way to like identify yourselves, it's usually customary for that same thing to be said when two parties part from each other. The Ave Imperator, Gloria, and Excelsis Terra. They deliberately didn't. And you can pretty easily tell it's not because they didn't know. It was definitely just disrespecting.
Wow. Bold words for someone in melee range. Or rather, bold lack of words.
Hey, I'm a pretty good shot with this thing.
Someone's gonna taste a lot like corpse starch in a minute.
Christ.
Better hope I don't accidentally miss and hit Sills.
So, you all plotting treason aside, the scene eventually settles into a bit of quiet. The stormtroopers quietly step away, and as this storage hangar is not too busy, you all can easily make it back to your Goliath to your rock cutter truck without really too much effort or anyone paying you any overall mind. What conversation you have and what you all talk about and choose to do is up to you guys at this point, as well as where you guys can head. I could just ask you what's the plan, where do you want to go? But I think it's much more appropriate to let you all have the space and character. So, as you figure out what you have to do, what information you've gathered, and where to go next, well, friends, I'm going to leave the scene in your hands. As you slowly arrive back in the hangar, your rock truck ready, the storage bay door still open for night shift workers who are coming in and out. Otherwise, the quiet of K2 is all that greets you.
What is our plan for the brother?
Who has the communicator?
I assume you did, but
I think it's I don't know if normally you have it. It was given to Zadkiel before you went to go see Sills. So whether that was given back is up to you.
yeah, I would assume probably. Yeah, Zad would have actually handed that off. That still being as is, this question still stands. What is the plan with your brother?
I'll
I shall
take care of it.
I shall assume we are not to arm him.
No, don't do that. I'm trying to keep him as far away from all of this as I can. How Sills got a hold of him, I don't know. But I'm going to be giving Brimrose a piece of my mind about that.
Careful with your words. Speaking against the Inquisitor is tantamount to speaking against the Emperor himself, under the laws of the Imperium.
I'll burn that bridge when I come to it.
Be careful you're not still on it. In the meantime, though, it would appear we still need communications to be sent to Granza. We must know the truth of their involvement in this bombing and kidnapping. They played friend to us before. Perhaps we can leverage that expectation, if word of Syl's capture has not reached their ears already.
We don't have more than one communicator, do we?
For directly with the Inquisitor, only you have the one. For each other, you all have one.
Okay.
Yeah, we can all talk to each other.
Well, like something to call Granzo with.
We got the one communicator.
You got the one, yes.
Yeah. We'll take care of that in a second. And have a word with our boss.
Very well. I shall prepare our vehicle for exit.
All right, then. Barris, as you go to move to grab the communicator and contact the Inquisitor, Sad, you go inside to prepare the truck for travel. Aria, Laura, what are your overall plans? Or are you going to sit in on either of those moments?
I'll head out with Boris. Should at least check on his brother.
That makes sense. Laura? It's far too dramatic. What are we doing here? Calm down, music. Music. Calm down. Way too serious.
I think I'll offer aid to Zadkiel with preparing the truck.
Fair enough. As you all split off into pairs. Aria, you step over to watch just as Barris pulls out the communicator and taps it on. The blue light grows from the projector, slowly begins to manifest. It takes a minute until a face does manifest, along with a voice. Acolyte Barris Corbin. A pleasure to remake your acquaintance. The face you see in front of you is one you have only really caught once on this planet, as you are suddenly regreeted with the face of Inquisitor Domina Severin.
This just keeps getting worse. I don't suppose Inquisitor Brimrose is with you.
Good disposed. And for what would you need him?
A private matter. If he's not there,
Private.
I have no business with you.
Oh, on the contrary. I am an Inquisitor. Everyone's business is my business, including and especially other Inquisitors. Now tell me, would this private matter have to do with your current investigation into the kidnappings and the assassination of the political leader, one Orme Uden? Or would they be a matter of the Xenos the Inquisitor had you speak with for information? And no, I don't mean the Eldari.
Neither, in fact.
Oh. Well, your lack of denial tells me a lot. Go on then. For what reason do you need the Inquisitor?
Discussing the terms of my employment.
Ah, yes. If I understand, you were brought on as a local. Stipulation meant that a family member would be provided local care, education services, and a protection service.
Brimrose has failed to keep his end of the deal.
Suppose you can't blame that on him. I've kept him quite busy.
You tell me I have you to thank for this?
Thank? What's to be thanked? I'm simply doing my duty to the Imperium. The God Emperor. That's the only reason any of us do any of this. Or have you forgotten, Acolyte?
And I was pulling me and then my entire team into this fucking sideshow, helping out the Emperor, or our mission for that matter.
I pulled no one into nothing. The gang are getting their hands on your brother was an unfortunate consequence of my investigations into your Inquisitor's associations with foul Xenos. Xenos, yet again, you all appear to have spoken with. So, I'll make this very transparent and simple. At your earliest convenience, you will convey any and all information you've received from the resident, and I quote, High Overlord Trazen, as well as anything you received from said Xenos. Any further communication with any outside of the Imperium's reach will be delayed directly to me before even your Inquisitor, and I will give approval before you make any future moves. Otherwise, you will all be brought in for treason, tried, and burned as heretics.
I don't recall us serving on your Inquisition.
You don't understand how this works. The Inquisition is the Imperium's eye. That eye must be everywhere, even on itself. Quite simply, I outrank your Inquisitor in this case. At my word, all of your lives end.
And you promised me the same arrangement I had with Brimrose.
I see no reason for it to be undone. Don't bother giving an answer, by the way. It was rhetorical. The deal was more just letting you know what the new stipulations will be. I look forward to future reportings on any information, and, well, we'll speak again soon. I'll leave you with your Inquisitor. Thank you, Acolyte. Ave Imperator.
Aria in excelsis terra.
The line cuts, shifts, modifies. Embarrass.
Is there a wall nearby?
There's a truck nearby. That poorly?
The truck.
As the screen shifts and you find the face fully manifesting as the much less annoying face of your actual Inquisitor, Malcolm Brimrose.
You know, I was ready to give you a piece of my mind, but I think we both have bigger problems.
If it'll make you feel better, you can still do so.
I don't know.
It is little comfort by now,
No.
but understand that I did my part. You asked me to secure your brother's safety, and also asked me to employ those, well, friends of yours. I killed two birds in one stone. I also hadn't heard from either of them before we lost contact with your brother.
Are you aware of the situation with Severin?
More than. If you think she's grilling you, you have no idea.
I don't know if I can go around her on this. Too many people's lives are on the line.
Don't. It's not worth it. This mistake is on me. Situation, this planet, it is all so much bigger than we've seen so far. I took risks to see that you all could find the truth of it. Those risks didn't play out perfectly this time. Play along. Play it safe. Keep the team alive. That's the best you can do right now.
Understood. What is she hoping to get with Trazen? He seems like a pretty big fish, even for an Inquisitor.
She doesn't want the High Overlord. She wants me. We don't exactly see eye to eye on how to bring about his most divine justice. She's a bit more by the book than I am, so to speak. And while plenty of Inquisitors can ride that line, any sign that one goes too far over the edge, say, purchases the wrong bit of Xenos tech, gets a bit too far warp corrupted, or shows any sign of overt heresy, and well, it's burned like any other heretic. That's what Severin wants.
Doesn't sound like good news for our little band of misfits.
Not unless we crack this.
Understood.
So, fill me in. What have we got?
CP-12 is denying responsibility for the explosions. So, we're down to a he said, she said with Grand Zen cells.
And the kidnappings?
Been going on a while. Again, CP-12 still's denying any responsibility.
If CP-12's involved, Severin will crack them soon enough. And that I have no doubt of. No, there's still more here. Are you seeing it too?
I'm a bit hyper-focused on what's right in front of me. I'm not sure I can be seeing the big picture right now. You know what I mean?
It's a good thing you have multiple eyes to rely on.
Barris turns to look at Aria. Anything to say?
Well, just remind me, Lara, did you tell us about what you discovered with the kidnappings? You knew that they were starting around the same time as the warp crisis. Is that known, or did I not know?
Are you asking me or?
No, it was Aria. I think you were asking Lara.
Yeah, I'm asking if
remember, yeah. When y'all were hatching this out last episode, y'all did like at least share the info that was discovered. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, Meg.
It was shared. Lara is not there.
Okay.
She's helping Zad kill.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Okay. So I think the first thing Arya is going to do is just look. She's a little surprised, but maybe not as much as she should have been that Brimrose knew about the kidnappings before we even started talking about them.
They are news.
But she does posit the, I guess, not really discovery, but more of the conclusion. Coincidence or not, it appears that these kidnappings started at around the same time as the warp crisis.
Then there's some kind of correlation there. If there's nothing else. What could it be, though?
They seem almost entirely random. There's no demographic chosen. There's no commonality in where it's coming from. I guess if you were pulling
Then we
some
have
sort
to
of
find a
research
kidnapping
study.
target before they get picked.
I suppose if you were conducting a research study on live samples, you'd be pulling a decent group. But this has been happening for years.
There's a piece we're missing here. And I think we'll find it soon, but just not yet. You all are the only ones capable of cracking this case at this point. You will have to remain even more vigilant than you normally are. Something will happen soon that will reveal all of this. Some clue will come clear. You all need to be clear of mind and resound of judgment when that happens. I understand you are all dealing with individual things, that there are problems, perhaps even familial ones that may be tying you up right now. But I need to know all of you are still in this, that all of you can still do this.
Speak for... Can't speak for Brother Zadkiel or for Lara, but... to whatever end.
Well, suppose I'll take that for whatever it counts at this point. I have nothing but faith in you all. Our contact will still be small from here from going forward. Perhaps more so with Severin's overwatch over all of us. Nonetheless, I will be in contact when I can, and offer whatever help I can. I am still an Inquisitor after all.
You just figure out who would benefit from throwing the criminal underworld into chaos.
And the political world along with it. It's as if their plan is simply to throw this world into turmoil. To what end? Things to ponder for later. I must go. The High Inquisitor's questioning awaits another round. Best of luck to you all.
As the Emperor wills.
There's a slow nod, but the signal goes staticky and fades out, leaving you all once again in the quiet of the night. Meanwhile, let's take a brief check. Let's flash to just before the two of you would be now going to join the truck, as you all hear the truck turn over, but just before then, we'll cut inside. Sad. Lara, you find yourselves in the main cabin of the Goliath, checking over its various systems and making sure that nothing seems too messed up. While it's a very rugged and utilitarian vehicle, it is on a planet that is barely at the edge of habitable by humans. Thus, a lot of checks to make. But what I'm more curious about is what's on your brains right now. If you're talking, what are you talking about? And if you're not, what are you thinking about? I guess in this case, thinking could be talking, given the...
I know, I was going to say, kind of, some of one, counting in both pools here. Though I will say Zadkiel will not be the one to immediately start conversation here. His mind, being conditioned and informed as it is set to task. Though I imagine as he establishes a bit big for the compartment, he's less so like sitting in the seats and looking over things, and more so just kind of like leaning in on the seat and on the step up and making sure everything is set. He'll probably have taken some time to doff the armor into the back of the truck. One of my favorite little words that no one uses. Maybe you say doff.
Great
more.
word.
Doff, yeah.
Maybe
Doff.
doffing more things, frankly.
The Turk does have an accent.
Well, I would never doff my accent, except for now. Anyway, so it's structured, and since breaking the prohibition, so to speak, on mental connection, I think there is a if he is being connected to in any way by our Xeno friend here, then it is like this very ordered, like, check engines, are we seeing anything, very clear checklist of ideas moving down, like almost computer going through tasks and running through them. But in the background, I say there is this underlying current of concern and worry swelling with history and memories that he's drawing up, speaking to a kind of past and what was promised of him to him by those who were part of the founding, and the kind of history of his chapter that he has lived through, because it's more than just being branded a traitor. It is hundreds of experiences, years that had come before that, through entirely treacherous terrain and difficulties, only to feel now more than ever he is somehow failing in any way. More so even during the Badab Wars, where his chapter was officially branded as traitors in need of penitence. But yeah, mostly it's just, going to be making sure the filter's clear. It's, how everyone does their mechanical repair, with an underlying feeling of dread and regret.
True.
And great lamentation. I don't know what Laura's up to, though.
I think that there's almost this cohesiveness that, since she's kind of settled into this, having this look into your minds, knowing what you are checking, there's a cohesiveness in knowing what you're checking. She's able to kind of slot in and check, bounce off of what you're doing, and she's also able to bounce off of it and compliment what you're doing and what she's doing as well, so able to bounce back and forth with her checks, so it's all kind of seamless in what you're doing, and able to kind of go down the list in what you guys are doing in your checks, so it kind of flows easily.
I imagine this thing where it's like Zadkiel has a mental list of checks you go through for standard Imperium, Imperial pattern vehicle, and Elena, you're just kind of like reading that, like kind of brushing against that surface thought of that list and like going one item ahead, so that as Zach doing one thing, you're doing the next thing, so Zach can then skip ahead, and you kind of just keep that leapfrog pattern going, so that you all can kind of check through. Brakes are functioning, gears are functioning, motors seem to operate well, drive is stable, both axles holding, everything seems like it's probably gonna work if it all turns on.
Yeah. And just going down the list like that. And she's a little bit nosy, so she is kind of lingering in those memories and those thoughts, but she's not dwelling in them. Like, she's not going to bring them up to you to indicate that she is actually diving into those memories. But because she's also got her own thoughts going on, mostly, and how she's got to figure out how she's going to deal with this Blackstone and Aria's demon, and how she's going to go about this as safely as she can, so that there isn't that corruption and the possibility of her also falling prey to this entity and the corruption of the warp and just being consumed.
The two of you sit quietly, though both of your minds are still very alive, going through this mental list of checks. And as you move through, quietly waiting, you find both of your thought patterns interrupted, obscured by a sudden blast of noise as the engine thrums to life. the car, or the Goliath, the truck as it is, comes online, perfectly functional. Seems like it might be having a bit of a suspension, or not a suspension, a transmission oil leak, possibly in one of the front, in one of the front motor drives. Not the kind of thing you need to worry about too much right now, but if you're in, you think the next time you stop into a big hive besides this one, you might want to take it to a mechanic's place, or stop in for some field repair somewhere if you can, or if you find some spare parts. Not the worst thing though. It's not too long after that. You also have a moment of space to yourselves, but you know that your compatriots will likely be rejoining you in just a moment or two.
I think that maybe noting that Aria and Zadkill have formed more of a connection between the two of them, that Laura will suggest to Aria that she maybe check in with Zadkill.
Aww. That's like kind of cute in like the only way that any of them would ever show any actual emotion. Well, it's just as that happens that the squad is officially rejoined in the Goliath truck. Everyone taking their usual stances. Lara and Barris up front. Zadkill and Aria in the back. Any other changes to that usual arrangement or anything?
I don't think so.
Cool. Then you all head out into the low night of Gata 2. This is where I'm going to kind of pass it over to you guys and ask you guys a little bit of something. Just head on a little bit of a travel scene. Are there any moments, conversations? They can be RP moments. They can be a thing you want to do in character. Is there anything you guys want to overall settle in as we slowly montage our way through this next, well, let's say this next bit of travel? Anything important happening for our acolytes? Anything interesting happening as the low evenings pass? I will say, you all might want to figure out where you're headed next. I don't remember. You have to remind me if. Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know if last episode you guys decided on, because I know at least one of you has somewhere you want to get something from somebody.
I know where I want to
but
go.
I don't know. Yeah, so if y'all want to have a moment to share that, you guys can have that right now as you all travel. Go on.
I guess I will bite the bullet and ask, so where do we want to focus our travel? Do we head back to Mines and Be Tertius to speak with Granza?
I'd rather not waste the time of that journey, if possible. If we can reach him by communicator. Or would you prefer to be there to feel inside his mind?
With some doing, I can reach him from a distance.
Where are our other objectives that we're talking about?
Other objectives?
Well, that's the fun thing. Is that as far as actual objectives, as far as places to go, none of the things you guys are currently looking for are outwardly tied to a location right now. Like, you could go to B Tertius and talk with Granza again, but you also have the communicator to speak to him remotely if you'd like to. You could pop in somewhere else to go check in on somebody else and see what's happening there, but none of your outright targets or objectives right now, minus one of you with a much more personal objective, of course, is it even really a personal objective? Minus one of you. None of you have any like location-based objectives. So it's really up to y'all where you want to go.
Continue and suggest if we're going to speak with Ronzo over the communicator, then I would like to say that I do need to go to the spaceport again. I need to meet someone on Aria's behalf.
By the sound of that, is it best that Aria not accompany you?
Well, I'm not sure any of you would want to accompany me.
Understood.
We should contact Granza first to understand his engagement with these bombings. Determine whether he tells the truth, or at the very least set a meeting.
That was going to be my suggestion.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but did we not already speak with him about the bombings earlier?
We did speak with him about the bombings, but we have not spoken with him about the kidnappings.
And if they are connected to chaos, it's possible a criminal element might know something.
We additionally know more of the truth of Granza than we ever had before. The weight of it is on our side. There is no more they should be able to hide from us.
So what do we think, team? Phone call or meeting?
One can lead to another.
Fair enough. Is Bears driving right now, or is Lara driving?
Assuming you all kept your standard positions, it's probably Barris driving unless Lara is asked to drive.
So I should probably not take out the communicator while I'm driving.
Yes, we practice safe driving here on Neon Lights.
We can switch roles because Lara can't
That's fair.
talk.
Rue. Each according to their ability.
Which
So,
Can she
after,
drive?
sorry.
I-
We're gonna
I
hope
was-
so.
I was going to also ask, which might be a little bit of a sidebar, but did we ever talk to Captain Rannick again? Because I feel like we never collated that data either.
You've not. You could, in fact, make your way back to B. Secundus.
We also have a
Well-
communicator.
True. Many options for what can be done here.
Seems like suddenly we have a lot more incentive to go back there. Or at least a lot more things to do and see. Although, like Aria said, some of those things can be done over communicator.
Well, if we are concerned with
then.
ascertaining the truth,
How long does it take to get to B. Secundus?
If you're heading to B. Secundus, if you're taking the safest path, about a week. If you take some shortcuts that might be a little bit more dangerous, probably about 3 to 4 days.
I don't think we need to travel there. We can communicate with Captain Rannick via communicator.
Works for me.
To be fair, because of the way it's because of the much more flat ground and lack of mountain ranges to traverse, if you're heading to the spaceport, it's probably about the same time. Maybe a little bit less actually. Probably about the same time, about 4 days.
And the distance to Granza's place?
Much shorter, obviously. It's not the B Tertius is you know probably probably B Tertius is about, I'd say, maybe a day's travel away.
And it's on the way to the spaceport.
Up to y'all. It did seem like there's a okay. So let's collate options here. We want to A, possibly speak with Granza, B, possibly speak with Captain Rannick, and C, go to the spaceport. Two of those things we know can most likely be done by via a communicator if we want to. The only one that can't, as of current, is the spaceport.
Any thoughts, brother?
We're looking for the Trentus spaceport or the Throne Gate spaceport? Throne's Gate.
The Arctic
Y'all will be Arctis, yes, the main one, the northern one, the one y'all been to before.
Okay. Damn. Sorry, I'm just. All right. Well, I personally think I would rather not take any detours to Secundus unless we have to be there in person. So I'd say head for the spaceport and handle the rest of the business via communicator. One of us can translate for Lara or interpret.
Pick a plan then.
All right.
And Granza? Communicator or...
Seems like this. That's also the plan. There is to speak with Granza via communicator. Yes.
He not also in Secundus?
No,
He should be Tertius.
Oh.
Yeah, he's over here.
Okay.
So, here's how we'll play this out then, friends. You all know it's about a 4 days journey of straight travel to get to the Arctic spaceport. There are a few methods you can use to maybe save a bit of time, but they're not going to save you anything significant. You have solidly that time to, well, thankfully, because your truck has your resupply crate with you, you don't have to worry about things like feeding yourselves or rearming all your weapons, things like that. If anything's seriously damaged, you might need to take some time to actually stop and get it repaired. But assuming all your things are mostly functional, you're probably okay. That said, catching up with Captain Rannick is pretty straightforward. You can contact her at any point during when she's available, and she'll share information with you regarding what's been understood. She won't have anything new to add, so I'll just let that be a simple montaged over. But we can all say that at some point in the next few days while you're traveling, you check in with her, ask her any information you've gathered so far, and also have the information that's been taken from her correlated with the information you all have. It's a lot of the same. More kidnappings, a couple of bombings here or there, and no one calling themselves the culprit. The kidnapping trends look a lot of the same. There is no demographic trend you can find. There is no locational trend you can find. In fact, the only thing you can really tell now is that if the kidnapping, at least like the spree of kidnapping, started shortly after the Cicatrix Maledictum opened, it looks like it was a couple happening when it first happened, not so long afterwards, and then within like the first year or two after the Cicatrix Maledictum opened, that number of kidnappings rapidly increased. And now it's kind of fallen to like a solid median number that's still pretty high, but it seems like there was a really obvious period right not too long after the Maledictum opened where there were a lot more kidnappings. Which again might lead to your credence of believing that the Inquisitor's theory that the kidnappings and the Great Rift are somehow tied. What that connection is, who can say? As for Granza, well, here's the thing about communicating with between gang leaders. Having an open line to Granza doesn't necessarily mean it's always easy to get in touch with a guy. So on your first day of travel, you find a good moment to stop, open the communicator, enter the one private line attached to it, and wait for a response. And don't get one. The second day of travel, you find a time to stop, open the communicator, contact the private line, and wait for a response. And don't get one. Your third day of travel, you try twice, just to be sure. The first time, nothing. The second time, finally, something. The communicator remains open. This is not like the hollow projector you have to speak with your Inquisitor. Nothing that high or fancy. This is just a very simple audio transmitting point-to-point connector. It's effectively a shitty phone. But eventually, as you hear that chime to indicate connection, a staticky voice, grainy and tired, comes through. No, what the fuck is this about, Sills? You've been bothering my line for the past 3 fucking cycles.
Sills, is a bit indisposed right now.
What the fuck? Oh, wait a minute. I know that voice.
Hey, Granza.
Barris fucking Corbin. I don't even want to know why the hell you got your hands on that. Where's the old bitch?
Somewhere that's too good for her.
You come stomping into my hut asking questions about bombings and political assassinations, and all of a sudden you've got Sills' private communicator and the old bitch is gone. Whoever the hell it is you're working for, they got you in some steep shit. Hope I don't get you killed.
Man, you don't know the half of it.
All right then, let's cut the shit. Why are you gracing my ears this afternoon?
Got some more questions for you.
Fuck, are you Arbites now?
Don't insult me like that.
Make them quick. I got work to take care of. One of my guys got been talking about some weird shit.
I take it you heard about the disappearances that have been happening?
Who ain't?
What do you know about the Cicatrix Maledictum?
The who to what?
Big chaos thingy?
The fucking tear in the sky?
Yeah, that.
A couple of weirdos around the corner say it's the Emperor's eye opening and casting judgment upon the worlds who are not worthy of his light. Some smarty pants I know say it's air in the Imperium, whatever exactly the fuck that is. All I know is, a couple years ago, it opened up, a bunch of fucking worlds all over got cut off from contact, and trade got real fucky. Local patrol stopped showing up, and, well, people start getting a bit weird.
Well, we did a bit of digging, and it looks like the first few disappearances started right around the time it showed up. In fact, most of the disappearances happened right around the time it showed up. Or at least most of the ones that happened, or at least they started ramping up around that time.
And you asking me about this?
Well, CP12 didn't. CP12 still said she didn't know anything about it. We'll find out sooner. We'll find out in due time if she was telling the truth or not. But if it's not any organized, and you obviously said you didn't have anything to do with it. So if it's not any of the local gangs, we're wondering if you have any idea who it might be. Or what.
Well, if it ain't just ash wasters snatching up random travelers and tourists, which there ain't that many tourists these days, Fuck, man. I got nothing for you. As far as I know, it could be one of the fucking governors doing it. Making some big ploy, right? Start snatching up kidnappings and act like the other ones can't keep their hives in line. Then you run on a platform of how well you can keep shit organized and keep everybody safe. I don't know. I'm bullshitting here, but
Who benefits from sowing chaos except the ones selling the order?
right. I mean, listen, as far as I know, all this bullshit, bombings, kidnappings, it's only really causing one thing, and that's a bunch of nonsense. The gangs are scared, politicians are tight-lipped, people are fucking terrified, everyone's just worried. Fuck the point of building up all this tension unless you can do something about it. Do something with it, yeah?
Guess you're right. But like, Kata 2, man. Who the fuck gives a shit about Kata 2?
I mean, you got me beat there. Ain't fucking the damn thing worthy about this planet here. The dust ball mining planet full of nothing but adamantium that's barely being scraped out and nothing else useful. Hell, even a fucking astropathic station up there barely fucking works.
Yes, this universe works in mysterious ways.
Well, shit. You want my guess? Whoever the fuck is up to whatever, they'll make it known when they pull off their shit. And if whatever's going around is any word, it'll be big.
Big is exactly what we don't want.
Which is why you'll catch me keeping my head down for as long as fucking possible.
Well, hard to get further down than in a mind sink. Does any of the rest of the crew have anything to add? Or anything they'd like me to pass on?
While you're doing that, could you all make some awareness rolls for me? Nothing crazy.
Nothing crazy. Just,
Yeah.
you know.
I love having to make awareness rolls. It's a skill that
Also-
I'm very good at.
As it's your third day of travel, you were all about here-ish.
Oh, so I just rolled a 1 on my wrath die.
Oh, I rolled a 6 on my wrath.
Oh.
Well,
Perfect.
I rolled 6 icons, technically, with the 6s I rolled.
Technically, I got also 6 icons.
Ooh. All right then. Here's how it all goes down, friends. And I'll let you add in what you need to when it's appropriately narrative. So, here's how it all goes down. Barris, you see them first. It's late, dark in the night, and the dust trails are the first thing you notice. This deep into the ash wastes, anything driving fast enough is going to create a trail, so they can't hide those. You pick up some. From the left. You're riding through a low canyon right now, so they're not too far from you. A couple of them. The tracks aren't large. You wager maybe a couple of smaller two-wheeled track vehicles, maybe a quad or two. If anything, this might be one truck amongst them. Travelers, probably. They aren't moving aggressively, really. Just traveling alongside of you. Laura, you're beside him. You see the second group. Same thing. Just dust trails, maybe a few quads, perhaps a truck of some kind. Just traveling along on the other side of you. Not really threatening or approaching or anything like that. Just traveling the same direction you are.
Thus.
Maybe. You know you're not too far from the spaceport. In fact, while it's later in the day now, you wager you could probably, even on foot, still make it to the spaceport by night's end at a decent pace. And that's you, Bear, thinking that as the, the soul, well, I guess not soul, but the unaugmented human, So, you're not super far. It's as you're making this movement, Then you start noticing that the canyon is kind of narrowing in. The large stone walls are kind of creeping towards a crevasse, and there is an outlet not far where they spread out and let off to a plane which will eventually lead to spaceport. But the canyon walls are kind of slowly closing just a bit, meaning that the caravans need to pull in somewhat. Space between these three groups, you and the left group and the right group, slowly narrows in. And it's as you can get them just a little bit closer, well, that's when one of them fires. From the back of the truck, you'll see hatch open, a figure come up, pull out something with a large rotary drum, which they rack and cycle, and then a single round arcs through the air. Sad, something in you tells you this is wrong. And even though you can't see, something tells you to let Barris know right now he needs to move. What do you do?
There's a divider, yeah?
Yep.
Barris, would you have that up?
How much have you guys been talking and praying?
Oh, you know us. It's a song every hour. So okay, perfect. That's all I need to know. He's going to punch through the partition and grab the steering wheel and yank it to the side to try and move the truck.
You yank the steering wheel to the right, to the right as hard as you can, Zad. You swerve, and Barris, that's when you have to grab the wheel, and with every ounce of strength in your mortal body, given that it's Zadkiel who's currently turning the wheel, you have to yank it the other way. Because as much as everything else is happening, you're the only person who knows who recognizes that grenade that was just fired at you all was meant to swerve you into the second one that was fired from the other group to the right of you. You throw the wheel as hard as you can, just barely getting the Goliath truck out of the just edge clip of the raucous, violent, sand-lit explosion that rips itself from directly under the side of your truck. It is just enough to keep you from flipping completely over. The car tumbles onto one side, screams and careens and smashes into the sand. Barris, you feel your head smash into the side window of the truck hard. Your vision gets a little bit blurry for a moment. But even through all that, you recognize it above anything else. You don't know who they are, but you know what they are. This is an ambush. Fuck.
Can we get a question answered real quick?
Sure.
Did we get to refresh our wounds?
Yes, all of you are perfectly healed.
Okay.
Well, thank you for speaking up, Lara, because you're also noticing something, and it's probably the reason why you only got those 3 icons in that awareness roll.
Yay.
There's a connection you have.
Huzzah.
Psychic link.
Oh, yay.
As you are getting closer to the spaceport, it's grown stronger, because this is where that person said they would meet you, so you assume they are nearby. There's a rippling in that connection. A wavering. You would attribute it to a loss of focus, as if if this were a lesser trained psyker, you would assume they were focusing hard to maintain that link with you and they just lost their focus. Valir's an Eldari. This should be as easy as breathing to him. Something's wrong. Something is very, very wrong.
Yep. This is a problem.
The truck is smashed. You're all surrounded. And at least as the caravans angle around you all, the quads stopping, people dismounting and drawing rifles, the trucks opening up and more, looks like maybe 2 groups of 12 or so come out, organized. These are not Ashgangers. These are not random waste pirates who picked up some guns and some vehicles. This is a planned, prepared, and organized attack. The spaceport really isn't that far. If you had the truck, the four of you could just make a sprint forward and see if you could make it as a dash. As it were, unless some of you hold these people here, you're not making it there without a long, long fight. What's the call?
So the truck's been pulled to a stop, yeah?
Yeah. Oh, the truck's been flipped on its side. You were all jostled around. Like the truck was thrown to its side.
You know, the truck sometimes upside down work just as fine. Back door's gonna kick open. Zakiel in full armor. His day out of it, you know. Decided to get back into it on the road. He's comfy in it. And he's gonna look back towards the truck. Sister Cantor, you must push on to the spaceport. Grab Barris. The witch and I shall hold the line.
Be careful, brother. And Arya's going to, I guess, just pull the opening a little bit further that you made, Zadkiel, and just motion Lara to exit through the...
There might be the slightest hiccup with that plan, by the way.
No. Everything's fine.
No, it's a good plan. Splitting, keeping two of you here to fight while two of you go to the spaceport. Great plan. The issue might be the assignments.
Yeah.
We need Lara to go
It's
to
a
go to the
spaceport.
spaceport.
Alright.
Hope one of you can drive.
Hey, a truck's
Oh, the
upside
truck's not
down.
moving.
You're big. Flip it.
Lara's gonna speak up and say,
Are you?
Lara's gonna speak up and say, I have to go. I have to go to the space.
Fine.
Well, then, if you'll excuse me,
Aria with me.
I think Arya's going... Lara, if you don't resist, Arya's going to pick you up and just plop you down on Zadkiel.
I look at Zed and like try not to kill her.
What is the meaning of this? We are to hold the line for your escape.
We need to get Lara to that spaceport.
You just
Brother.
kind of look like this jaw-clenching kind of thing, which nearly breaks. It looks like the pronounced canines are at risk of snapping on each other. Is this an official order?
Consider it as such.
I think that's a perfectly solid place to leave that. I think it's as you say, consider it as such, the gunshots begin to erupt. And you all recognize it's time to get moving. The party splits into two. Zadkiel, as well, probably along with Lara, the fastest among the party, take off towards the spaceport. Aria and Barris, using the truck for cover, prepare to hold the line as these organized attackers close in. But before we get into that, friends, let's take the briefest bit of a break. Be back in a few minutes. Just hit the dial of that browser. Don't touch the, refuel, defuel. See you in a bit. Bye! We return to a tenuous and a split scene. On one half of the scene, two of our compatriots, Aria and Barris, face down an oncoming horde of unknown ambushers who are apparently very well trained and have taken out their vehicle. Meanwhile, while they hold the line, the other scene, showing Zadkiel and Lara, shows them sprinting towards the spaceport, as something is clearly very, very wrong there. I believe we'll start first with... You know what? Let's start with you two, Zad and Lara. We're going to montage through a lot of this, but I want to have at least a small scene of like the two of you conversing on your way to the spaceport. As I don't think, Lara, you've really managed to like fill anyone in on what's happening there or what the plan is or what's going on. So let's pick up back in on that scene. The two of you, as the fastest members of the party, both faster than your standard human, are sprinting towards the spaceport. At pace, you will make it there in the next few hours. That is a lot of time to leave your friends behind. But you are certain you can make it there, and as long as they can get the truck back up operational, they shouldn't be too far behind you, ideally.
So, this is all happening mid-sprint, and there's not any mention of fatigue or anything, and we did compare speed scores behind the scenes, so Zadkiel is in front. It's very important. But I mentally will reach out. Tell me, what business is so important that we must leave our allies behind for you to reach the spaceport?
We're retrieving something that will keep the demon that is residing in Aria from consuming her.
Where do you intend to get such material? And what do you mean, demon?
Just as I said.
No. The Emperor would never fail such a loyal servant.
Perhaps this is the Emperor's way of fixing his mistakes.
If his will is executed by Eldari, then it is truly a bright day for your people. And I welcome it. Where do you intend to get such materials anyway? I am certain they are not so easily found that they could be traded for with a standard merchant. Even rogue traders would rarely run into such stuffs, where the Imperium would be quite a better place.
Daiko, can you promise me you'll keep such open mind as you did with Trazen?
Okay, so one thing, Tycho, no. Second thing, I love that Captain brought that up as psycho because, like, accurate. But, that we are having this communication telepathically should tell you the true heart of my intentions. But you have proven yourself, at the very least, to earn my trust in this regard.
And know that it is coming from a man that I trust.
You trust a man. And what Mon Kai holds this honor?
They aren't exactly a Monkai.
You push too far. And he'll note as he's running, he's now turned his head to look at you and still continues to sprint. The full truth. What are we dealing with? More Eldari? Drukari? If you say chaos, your inability to speak will be the least of your worries.
You recall the Eldari Corsair we first encountered.
I recall the blood they attempted to spill. The lack of love they seem to share of you. You claim this is now your ally?
One of them.
I've been through the Materium and Immaterium many more times. And still I find your people the most confusing of all.
That's not the whether or not... Look. I trust him. Our last encounter was... Yes, it was confusing. But right now, there is a problem happening there. I don't know what is going on, but I cannot contact him.
All the more reason to make haste. But you understand my actions here must reflect the values of my chapter. And my chapter's values cannot be questioned with Xenos or other connections. You will do the bargaining. I will engage as little as possible. Whatever my feelings, I cannot be seen associating with your kind.
That's fine. All I ask is that you remember that you have an ally that is suffering.
I have many allies who are suffering.
Bear them in mind.
I am. And I hope your friend is as true to you as you think they are. And this is not yet one more trap laid by false friends that we have encountered thus far. For Aria and Barris's sake. And yours.
Speaking of those two, as the two of you trundle your way along, coming up to the crest of the hill that descends down into the low valley that takes up a large portion of the spaceport, the camera cuts back to the ongoing attack happening on the location of the truck. Aria, Barris, you two find yourselves coming under fire from a variety of weapons. Well, I say that. In fact, it's actually quite straightforward. Most of the weapons firing you are not shooting solid rounds like you're pretty used to for most weapons here. They are firing lances of red-hot bolts. They're las guns. Standard issue, weaponry throughout the Imperium mostly for militaries. But on a planet like this, where people don't necessarily have the tech to keep those things functioning, even though they are pretty easy to keep operational, they aren't super common. Palisades of lasgun fire are pelting your position from either side. Not wildly, but in organized volleys. About 12 or so individuals on either side. One individual amongst each of them seems to be some sort of organizer for the group. Making calls, directing soldiers, pushing people in certain positions, and calling shots. But otherwise, well, you're surrounded, you're outnumbered, and you're actively in a gunfight. What's the call, friends?
Well, I suppose we can just talk this out, fellas.
The only response you get is noticing one of the leaders of the left group going. Target group is split. Eliminate these two.
Oh wow, they mean business.
They don't feel like talking. They can talk with the end of my naginata, and she's going to pull it out and light it up.
Well, you should note then, Aria, as of current, the groups are closing in from range. So you would need to have, I'd say, probably a full. If you wanted to reach them, even at with the speed that they're closing in, you would need about a turn and a half of full sprint moving. So if you wanted to, like, take off at a run and maybe use like a ranged weapon of some kind and then full sprint to attack in melee next turn, you could do that. If you want to solely attack in melee, you would need to fully just sprint this turn, and then next turn you can get like a couple of good hits in.
Arya does not want to leave Varus undefended.
Well, Varys, you got any plans?
Take cover, start shooting.
So you have a couple options to cover. There's the flipped over truck. Obviously, you could easily use it. It's the bulkiest thing around and the most stable thing. If you look to either side, there are probably some copses of large rocks you can sprint to for cover. They'd be a bit far, and you'd be sprinting through the open to get there, but they're reachable in a single turn's worth of movement. Otherwise, your best bet's probably just dropping low into the dune, trying to use the differences in terrain level for cover.
I can run forward and draw their fire.
Behind the truck.
You'll stay behind the truck, or would you like me to?
Oh.
Arya is.
I'll stay.
I guess.
And cover.
Alright. Will you be safe here?
Probably the hardiest thing in the desert right now.
Varys, you are able to take a quick little sprint and slide around the cabin and duck yourself behind the sort of like underside of the driver carriage portion of the Goliath. Fire is still plinging at you from both sides, but from your obscure position, you can hunker down so much, and most of it's not necessarily able to hit you. You still need to kind of keep shuffling back and forth, left and right, to avoid anything pinging onto you, but you wager you're a lot safer here than you were just exposed in the open a few seconds ago. What's your plan from there?
So they're firing at us with las guns. Does that mean they're like within gun range?
They're definitely, if you talk, they're within like I'd say like if you're looking for like your military grade small arm range. For your pistols, they're a little bit long range. They are closing though.
Okay. I guess if Arya's gonna charge, I will try to cover her, and as she's drawing fire, I will try and move from cover to get more within range.
All right. And as you start raising your weapon, start taking shots at the group at the closest group to you. Let's go ahead and have you make that attack roll for me if you don't mind.
Okay. And since they have not taken a turn yet, I get bonus die on here.
Make it happen then, boss.
Oh, wrong button.
What you got for me?
Oh wow, that's a lot of sixes.
Talk to me.
Let's see, 2, 4, 6, 7 icons for the attack test.
With 7 so sorry. Okay then, go ahead and roll your damage die, please. I don't know why I muted myself there, my bad.
Oh wow, they roll 1?
Possibly.
Oh man. Yeah, I think I rolled a 1.
But it doesn't have a base damage value, yes?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Base damage is I think 8? Is that the rating?
More than enough. Yes. In that case, you're more than enough. Their damage there is 7. And you rolled 7 total icons for your attack roll?
Yeah.
All right. In that case, for the record, is for
Do I
transparency.
shift some to get
You can shift, yes. You can shift for more.
okay. I'll do that then.
I'm going to say, by the way, so you're aware, these groups of guys, minus the commanders, operate like mobs, meaning they are groups, and when you roll to attack them, each number you roll over their defense hits another person. But the way this works, because I've actually seen a couple on the rules. One version of the rules I've read says every number you roll over is another person hit. One version I've read says every 3 you roll over. So I'm going to go with the middle ground and say every 2 you roll over is another person you hit with that. So given their defense rating is 3, you rolled 7, so that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You've hit a grand total of 3 guys. So go ahead and tell me how you pick off 3 guys while you get ready for Aria to charge out.
Okay. As I slide behind the truck, into cover position, I take a look at the nearest 3 and just like quick draw them out, pop them, pop.
You slide behind one, draw your pistol, fire at one that's getting ready to fire at you, take him in the head before he can even raise his last gun. He drops to the sand. The person behind him comes up immediately, no hesitation, kind of falls into cover, fires. You duck low to avoid that shot, aim your other pistol around, fire at that guy. Take him in the shoulder, he falls over. You turn around, and the guy kind of coming around to get cover on you, raise up, bang, third one, straight to the chest. He drops dead. Anything further from you?
No, I think that's it.
Then let's see Aria. As you see that Barris is now drawing fire from you, what's your plan?
Remind me again how far do I have to charge in order to get there? Or at least get near
say-
where the I think where
What's the speed?
commander is going to be.
What's your speed?
My speed? 6.
Yes. Ooh, not bad. With a speed 6,
I also don't
At a
take any
full
I
tilt-
also don't take any penalties from difficult terrain.
at a full tilt sprint, if you want to just barrel directly at the commander of one of the groups, you could charge attack straight to them and make it there. You will definitely still probably take some fire on the way.
Can I barrel
It will be
towards them?
lessened, though.
Huh?
It's not,
Oh, sorry.
the return fire will be less than some, given that Barris is drawing fire.
Gotcha. Can I barrel towards, like, angle towards the commander, but like, attack the group on the way, or is that not?
Yeah, I'd allow that.
So like I'll be in position to attack them on the attack the commander on the next turn, but I'm attacking the
I'll say that,
mob.
absolutely. All right, then go ahead and make your attack roll. Yes, go ahead and make your attack roll. Make it with a. No, just go ahead and make your attack roll. It's fine.
All right. Can I say I'm doing this as a charge?
Yes, please.
So I'm moving this up 2 times my speed, and I get a +1 die to my melee roll.
Yep.
All right. So that's a +1 bonus die. We're gonna go ahead and roll that. That is 4 + 1, 6, so that's a 5 icons.
Okay.
I believe.
5 icons. Oh, okay. 5 on successes. Passes their defense by Okay, so you'll hit a grand total of 2 people. Roll your damage roll.
All right. That's 2 + 1 +1 6 on the wrath die.
So for
Or
a grand
not
total of
wrath die,
4 plus your base roll.
It's a 6 + a 5.
Okay, so 3 icons plus your base damage value.
My base damage value is base damage value is
The DR.
10 + 2 ED.
Okay, so 10 plus your. Oh yeah, you're fucking more than fine. Tell me how you kill 2 people.
Aria sort of steps behind the truck spins the naginata in her two hands, sets into a running stance. I am a sister of the Order of the Silver Dawn. Stand aside or be trampled! As she charges forward with a low swing, and just lops off the legs of two people.
You lop off the legs of one and lop off the legs of the other. They both fall over, clearly bleeding out into the ground and dying. As they are doing so, you notice that it's almost like the moment you take off running, while several of them are still ducking low from Barris putting fire at them, a bunch of them, including one of the guys who just got their legs cut off, barely able to bring their gun up through their dying haze. The remaining 5 of them who were left will all turn their guns on you, Aria. So they're going to take those shots, but they are going to be not as good in doing so. So if you'll excuse me, let me go ahead and make that back 1 second. They get a couple of bonus die because there's 3 of them. So here's the attack roll. Hiya! Or I guess I lied to myself. It didn't want to roll. No, I got it. My bad. I'm sorry. I fucked up. There we go. Looks like a grand total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 icons.
Well, that's gonna hit. My defense is not that great.
Sorry, it's only 4, actually.
That's still gonna hit.
Okay, then they'll make their damage roll now. You are in close range. They will damage roll now. You are in close range of them, and they have the rapid fire trait, so they're going to get a bonus damage die to this. So here comes that. You only take 7 damage.
That's 0. My resilience is 11.
Well, in that case, nothing happens. As the other group will start to pull off, they'll split their fire and basically make the same exact attack, but they'll split it between the 2 of you. So we'll start off with Barrett. You are in cover, so you'll increase your damage by 2, your defense rating by 2. So roll on the attack. For a grand total of 5. Ooh, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5, 6 icons.
Okay, that does not hit. Or my with +2, my defense is at 7.
Well, then, all right, you're fine. As the other group splits off, 5 of them put las gun fire and organized volleys into you and embarrassed. As you're ducking low, you've been in plenty of shootouts with gangers. These are not gangers. They have an organized, planned out fire pattern. It is coordinated. It is crisp. It is not easy to avoid. Aria, same thing happened to you. That's going to be cool. Damage roll. Oh wait, I didn't do the bonus diagram. Sorry, I fucked this up. My bad. Damage roll again. That's a lot better. It's gonna be 10. Sorry, 11 damage total.
11 does a meets it, beats it?
You take shock.
Alright, so that's exactly 11, so... How much shock am I taking?
1.
1. Alright. Cool.
So, as the group closes in, the commanders who are still alive, you'll see, will both point their fire, their fingers directly at you, Aria. Bring it down. And every soldier will immediately start to trail their fire towards you, as if this group's entire plan was to get this exact situation to happen, to get you to charge off into melee and Barrett to take cover. It's like they know how you guys fight. With that said, let's slide back over to our other group, shall we? Any passing thoughts before we slide away to you? Any passing commentary from the 2 of you?
Fuck.
My God. Fair.
I just have a sneaking suspicion as to who's trying to kill us right now, and I'm not sure if I care right now, actually.
Well, we'll figure that out in just a moment. Meanwhile, at the spaceport, the two of you find yourselves slowly brought into the hum of industrial noise. The spaceport is still not open to pedestrians or to civilian traffic, but you wager there's at least a few workers around in the outskirts of it who are doing some work. You are, however, bound for the deep port base, the deep cargo storage, the place that you had that firefight last time. But as you move down to the depths of the spaceport, the first thing you notice, which wasn't the case last time, is that the lumen globes holding up the catwalks of this area of the spaceport, a lot of them are out. And that could be lots of things. Simple mechanical failure, power shortages, someone broke them, or something else. But you're closing, slowly approaching that open cargo bay. The door is ahead of you. It is open. Not fully, but almost pried open, it looks like, perhaps.
I mean, does it look like there was a significant amount of effort applied to this door? Is there any other markings on the initial entry point?
One more time?
Is there any like markings on the initial entry point or stuff? Like,
Doesn't look like there was a fight had outside of this place or anything like that. As you're getting close, you can definitely, again, it does look like someone either started the mechanism to open the door and then jammed it a bit through the process, or literally somehow got some kind of equipment in here or elsewise pried this sealed cargo bay door open just a bit and slipped through. It's big enough that easily a human or two could slip through it.
we should proceed with caution. I'm not sure of the fate of your allies.
I'd like to do a little bit of a psychic reach, if you'll allow, to see
Please
if I
do.
can ping some people in here.
Go on and do that, please. An important note for me, just so I'm aware of this, are you pinging, like stopping at the door and pinging, and then you guys are going to go through after you figure out what the ping is? Or is this a ping as you're moving through?
Stop at the door.
Okay.
What does a 6 get me?
With 6 icons, your Cynicians picks up 2 distinct soul flares. At least 2. Maybe more, it's difficult. There's some disturbance, some turmoil. One of them's familiar. Very, very, very familiar. It's definitely Valir. And much like that connection you felt previously, there's a waver to it. A ripple, a flutter, a fluctuation. The other isn't one you recognize, but it stinks. It reeks.
Is it a familiar kind of reek, like something I could identify as a particular essence?
It's not a demon, but the odor is a distant cousin to the aura you smelled off of Aria. It is of the Neverborn. It is of the Primordial Annihilator. Something about this has had its soul scarred. Whatever this other presence is, whoever they are, they have had their soul ineffably scarred by the touch of the warp.
I sense Valir. Valir definitely. Maybe others. Something reeking of corruption. Primordial.
And then we go in with arms at ready. And I am moving to the door and like creaking it open just a bit more so I can slide through.
You slide through the door first, Zad?
I am.
Weapons ready. Which weapon you got out?
Well, at the moment, I have a, if you must know, a bolt gun. But I am ready to swap to a bolt pistol and chainsword at the nearest implication of if it's going to get interesting.
Okay, then. Last question, and last thought for both of you. Awareness, please.
Wow. 1 and a 1 on the wrath.
Ooh.
4?
Give me a second, then.
What is
Oh, wow.
that? What is that?
So here's what happens. Zad, you slide through the door first. Bolt gun ready, Astartes drill standard. Lara just behind you. What you get on your awareness roll, by the way, Lara?
What?
What you get on the awareness roll, by the way?
4? Sorry, I was distracted by the 12d6 that was rolled.
It's fine. So, Lara, you ever grab and throw an armored? You ever grab and push an armored car?
Grab and push one? No.
Yeah, no. So there's probably a lot of work for your muscles to literally grab onto whatever crap you can get on Zachiel's armor and shove him as hard as you can against the bulkhead as you hear just the slightest, just the thinnest, just the barest whistle through the air. Cutting, slicing. As that gets brought back, the grill and eye lens of your helmet and your bolt gun sliced clean in half.
I don't have a helmet.
Okay, cool. Then your face is cut. Enjoy the blood in your eye.
I gave it away for a chainsword, if you'll recall.
Sure you did. Thank you, Trezen. Well, your face, the gorget of your armor, and your bolt gun, sliced clean in half as you get yanked back by Lara and slammed against the bulkhead of the door. And you don't need to wait for a what was that very long. As a thud and then another thud of armored boots step out, followed by, from the very thin lumen globes you can see, a long pointed blade edged in a thin blue power aura. Armor of sea teal edged in green and silver with an emblem of a hydra circling itself, eating its own tail.
We found the Astartes.
An armored, modified voice says, "Hello, my thin-blooded cousin. Are you here for the after?" And points that blade to the only other lumen globe lit thing you can see, which is a cargo container half opened with a figure slumped against it, chest opened from a blade slash and bleeding what barest bits of their life they have left out on the ground. I don't think you need to guess who that second person is.
Do not.
Is it Jesus?
No.
No. All right. Well, fun facts about me. That hurdy. I'm going to kill them. So, Ezekiel is gonna kind of like take a moment, step back, assess, like shoot out, like feel at their face as they let the half of a bolt gun fall to the ground, and then it's just a rev as he is actively bringing up that chainsword.
The figure, from pointing at Valir, brings the sword back, scraping it along the ground. And with a Xenos, no less. Interesting. Tell me your name, cousin. I wish to know it before I take your head.
I am Zadkiel Delos, and I give you that name willingly, knowing it will be the last you know before I send you back to the Imperium.
Bold. I like the bold ones. He spins that sword twice in his hands and then points at you. And you, witch, what brings you? Here to watch the show? Worth saying for you, by the way, Laura. It's worth saying for you, even though obviously Zakiel's been all like, don't get in my head, and Space Marines do have walls against like mental intrusion from psychers. You're an Eldari psyker. If you want to speak in this guy's head, you can just do it.
I was gonna say is like that's what I was gonna ask you. Was like, can I just go into this guy's head for a minute? Sorry, I'm weighing things at the moment. I'm like,
You're good. Listen, I understand. I'm putting a lot on you right now.
I is like, wait, do I go keep Valir alive, or do I flare up in anger and go, I'm going to fucking kill you?
I will say, while he has addressed you, he has not looked nor pointed his sword anywhere away from Zadkiel this entire time.
I think I'm going to actually not address him. While her eyes do light up with a bit of a fire, and fire from anger, her attention is going to go to Zadkiel, and she's going to ask, you wish this to be a duel between you and him? Or do you want my involvement? Turk?
They showed no honor in life. I see no reason why. Let me rephrase. The Alpha Legion have no honor. They betrayed it once in service of the Emperor, and many times since in betraying him. If this is to be a duel, I suspect it will not be a fair fight. I will need you.
Seeing the silence for a while and noticing that he's not being spoken to, he actually speaks up again. Oh, are you here for the pirates? Go on. Go to him. He's not long for the coil.
What you doing?
I'll join you, but I can't leave him. At least give me a moment.
Go. I will buy you the time for your farewells.
And she will run.
And as you take off running, again, the blade point never leaves its pointing at Zadkiel, nor does this figure move a single muscle until you are well out of his vision. Finally, he'll lower the blade point, spin the sword again. My manners. I am called Thok, headsman of the Son of Truth, headsman of the Sons of Truth. And you, Brother Zadkiel, will be the finest collection I have gathered in some time. I hope.
You will have to earn it.
I was hoping you'd say that. And he'll raise his own sword and just stare down at you for a while.
I match his stance.
Mm-hmm. And before either of you lunges in there, let's pay over to Laura real quick. You are dashing over to Valir. The closer you get, the more you can see the detail. There are slash marks, slight indications and scars, evidence of a duel, all over this area. At his feet, you can see the fusion pistol, depowered, and Valir's Corsair sword split in half. You can tell he gave everything he had. There's a large gash in his armor going directly across his chest, leaking all bits of Eldari blood out to the open. He is reaching up and clutching at something. Not his wound. He's clutching at something held in his armor. An iridescent, pearlescent gem. You would know it as a soul stone.
As she gets close enough, she drops to her knees beside him. And just immediately apologizes for not being there sooner.
Too fast. Would have killed you too. Tried to open the container. Didn't give me the chance, but wouldn't even bother opening. Just left me here, bleeding. Doesn't want the Blackstone.
What does he want then?
He barely lifts his hands and points it up at you, and then angles it towards Zadkiel. They're hunting you.
Looking at him, there's really no saving him at this point, is there?
No, not one bit. It's... Meg, do you know what a soul stone is for?
It's, as far as my knowledge goes, it just encapsulates the soul once they die. I don't know if that allows you to return at a different point or not, though.
Not exactly. No. You see, when the Eldari a long time ago fucked up and made a god, turns out that god has a real taste for Eldari souls. So whenever Eldari die, Slaanesh does everything they can to consume them for eternity. The Soul Stone binds the soul, so it can be returned to the Infinity Circuit. Can it be used for other purposes? Yes. Some will help operate essential craft or even pilot venerable weapons. Some might even be put into the frame of venerable warriors to be animated in death to fight on the battlefield again. Valir is gone. There is not much left of him here. The best thing he can hope for is a peace in the Soul Stone to avoid the eternity of being devoured by she who thirsts.
And then she is going to looking over the injuries and looking at just the scene before them and knowing that there is really not much time left for him in this world, and knowing that the fate that awaits, she's going to clasp his hand in hers and ask, do you remember that lullaby that they used to sing when we were young?
Children's songs. Now. It's distant. But I think I still remember most of it.
I think that she does start softly kind of singing it. I'm not very good with coming up with things on the spot, so I'm not gonna
You're
come up
fine.
with something. And
I think you begin to not literally sing words, but ethereally hum in an Eldari Wraithbone song. The tones humming and harmonic as if reaching from multiple throats. You lowly hum, somber for a while. Valir's gaze hardens. He grips your hand a bit tighter. The Monkai, the demon. If they're after you, it'll the Blackstone. You'll be too late to stop it. It's as if he's trying to get you to, like, stop trying to soothe him. Like, no, don't make this about me, please. Like, I'm trying to look out for you in my last moments. It's a feeble and futile thing, but he doesn't stop you from singing.
there does come a point where she does pause and say, "It's okay to rest. I'll be fine."
Rest without you.
I'll make you a deal.
Go
Once
on.
once your soul is encapsulated in that stone, I'll carry you with me. Then we won't be apart again.
He lets go of your hand, brings it up to the side of your face, gently moves a bit of your hair. You were always too sentimental.
Not too long amongst them, okay? You always told me that.
His hand falls back to his chest. His eyes begin to lose light. The soul stone glows brighter and brighter until it is translucent and beautiful at the side of his chest. And there is no more breath in his body.
Now that all that's left is this pearlescent stone. You sit up and hold it close to her heart for a second before tucking it safely away, close to her own soul stone. It's a very long, deep breath before getting to her feet and turns her attention back to the fight that is likely already broken out between Zadkiel and Thok. Is that his name? Thok?
Yep. Headsman Thok.
Headsman of the Sons of Truth.
Let's do this real simply, real quick, Turk. We'll do some actual combat in a little bit. I'm gonna make this real simple for you. I want you to go ahead and just roll me an attack roll. Just roll me an attack roll. You can, if you have anything I can modify it, let me know what it is and apply it. Make the roll, and before you roll, Thok will also make a roll. Higher number of icons determines how I'd narrate how this is going for you.
Okay. In that case, let me just clarify something, because he has made a mistake in showing a Blood Raven successor blood. Because the all-out attack option... Oh, there we are. I'm going to take the all-out attack, which is going to give me an additional +2 to my roll. But plus your bonus die to your melee attack dice pool. Okay, I just want to make sure.
Mm-hmm. But we'll also lower your defense by 2. Yes?
Yes. Well, I suppose I shouldn't do that just yet. I'll just roll this straight until I actually see some blood, because I would love to fail a thing here. However, fun facts about me. First things first, his eyes are a murky blue. Second, Savage Echoes lets me reroll 2 dice on any melee attack. So, I see 4, 5, 5, and 2 6s. So that would be a total of currently 4, 5, 5, 2 6s. 3 plus 4, 7 icons, and a 5 on the Wrath die. I'd love to reroll the 1 and a 2 there to see if we can just quickly get anything better. A 6 and a 5! Hey! Okay, so that brings us up to from a 7 to 10 icons.
All right. In that case, let me do... I'm going to have him spend 1 ruin for the ruin effect. I have no equals, meaning he will attack to his arm with +2 bonus die on the attack test. He already has +2 bonus die on his attack test because of his veteran and long war trait. So it's going to bring him to 4 bonus attack die. Here's his roll.
Ooh, that's a very comparable roll, sir. That's a very comparable roll.
That's looking like a grand total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 icons in total. And your total was, remind me?
My total was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Well done. Then here's what happens. As we cut back to the duel beginning between these two, we watch as Thok engages first. It's a quick dashing jab and a slice across that you're able to bring your chainsword up and parry. This grinding sound as the nano fiber teeth eat into the side of into the field of the power sword and then slide across it. Thok does not waste time, coming in immediately after you again and bringing that sword down. You meet it perfectly a second time. He comes up. He brings the sword back, drives his knee up. You have to bring the hilt down to kind of to almost block that knee. And then he swings his helmet at you as hard as he can, smashes it against the top of your head. Your vision goes blurry. You are just barely able to bring your sword up one more time and turn that third blow away. He steps back, slides the sword against the ground. Not bad, cousin. Not bad. Have the sword schools on Ball gained some worthy champions these years?
Had your information been complete, you would know we hold only partial home on Ball. But the Imperium has charged us to be better.
Your Imperium, like you, is a reflection of a reflection. A twisted, broken copy, and I, like my master, will shatter it.
You may try.
I'll enjoy it. And I think before the two of you if you see like the sort of another blow come in, the camera focuses on their two swords meeting and clashing before it cuts away one last time. We slide back over to our group of 2, Aria and Barris. The two of you have the initiative still. You've brought some people down. Groups are still closing in now. Aria, that leader you were targeting, is still looking at you and is now brought up what looks like another one of, like, again, that same rotary weapon that Barris saw. Aria, you didn't see this. Barris, you definitely saw that rotary drum barrel gun that was brought up, that fired at your truck before you started this fight. You know what that is. You might want to warn Aria before she gets shot at.
Do I know, like, what the name of it is, or do I just...
It's the grenade launcher.
Oh, shit. They've got a grenade launcher!
Oh, right, you say that, Aria?
Oh, sure.
Mm-hmm. No, you're fine. It's just as you yell that, because sometimes in the moment you just yell because you're in the moment. And as you yell in the moment, that grenade launcher just lets off a round. Aria, thankfully you weren't nearby anybody, but you get to act first. So, why don't you tell me what your plan is as you see a grenade arcing through the air towards you? What's your plan?
Roll the grenade. Roll the grenade.
I mean, how close did I get with double speed when I charged towards this guy at like 12?
You could reach the leader with a standard move action. You're fast. I mean, you can run at him and try to make it with a hit. There's a chance you just eat that grenade on the way, but you got armor?
I do got armor. Um. Now the question is what to do. What to do? Let's see. Ha! Ha ha ha! All right. I'll keep this for now. Sorry, I just had a thought because the Emperor protects, and as a reflexive action, I could just spend 2 faith to force that attack to miss,
All right. You
but I'm
could.
not.
Okay.
I'm not. Um. So quick question: can I catch that grenade and throw it back? Actually,
No. It
No?
was launched from a grenade launcher. It's going to detonate when it impacts. So if you grab it, it's gonna blow up in your hand.
Gotcha.
So you can't baseball bat it away either. Huh?
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
I was trying to find that gif of the like the tear gas at a protest where like a protester just like hits it away.
My favorite. Love that.
Okay then. I think then. Okay. I'm just looking at my actions and I'm just like I'm pretty sure all I can do is move, combat, or a reflexive action.
Yes.
Reflex. All right. What counts as a reflexive action? Looking at this. Screw it. We're charging forward.
All right then. So let's go ahead and resolve the. Let's quickly, briefly resolve the grenade launcher as you're charging. You will, no matter what, get this attack off, no matter what happens to you. But let's just see how it goes off though, real quick. Whoop.
Like I don't know if Brace does anything, so.
Well, he rolled like shit anyway. So the shot went wide. Why don't you go ahead and make your attack roll?
Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and attack with 1 plus 2 sixes is 3 plus 2 is 5.
That's enough icons to pass his defense. He is not a mob. He actually has a standard enemy with wounds. So go ahead and roll your defense or roll your damage.
All right, so I got 5 and a 6 on my pool, but I do base damage of 10 plus 2 ED, and it's agonizing and rending.
Okay, so the 5 and 6 will be a great total of 3 extra damage. So 10, so it's 13 total. Defense of 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Oof. Yeah, okay, so you get to this guy, you cleave directly through the grenade launcher, which blows up on it, and then you kick into him and slice him with your Naginata again. He's cut open and lands on the ground, clearly wounded. Most gangers you cut open like this or random hive scum will just be on the ground bleeding in pain and dying. And while the agonizing is kicking in, you can see he is still pulling around his las gun and trying to bring the bayonet up at you. These guys are, again, very well trained. He is on the ground, though, and looks like he's moving his other hand to do something, but we'll come back to that. Ferris, what are you doing?
All right, so they're like on the other end of the canyon. Right?
There's two sides. There's the group on either side of you. One kind of more to your your front right, and then one on the other side of the truck to you to your left here.
Okay.
Aria is in the thick of the group on the left.
All right. I'm too far away to like snipe the dude while he's on the ground. I take it.
Specifically, I mean, you can take the shot. It's longer range, but you can take the shot if you wanted to.
Okay. Let's see. In that case, I will aim.
All right.
From where I am.
Hell
Which
yeah.
means I get what's it called? Is it like +1 to
Yep.
bonus die? Okay, and then I have dead shot, so I actually get +2 bonus die.
Well, then dead shot it.
And watch me miss anyway. hope it was weird. Oh shit.
Wow, you got a 6 on your wrath die though.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's only good for 4
What you got?
rounds in total.
That's enough. He passes the fence. Roll damage. What you got for me?
8 or 2 icons. I forget if damage is number or
Yeah.
icons.
Remember the give me the DR for your gun too.
Oh,
The
DR.
base DR. Yeah.
Yeah, base DR is
Okay.
8, and then 2 icons.
So 10. Ooh, exactly enough. So here's what happens. I'm gonna tell you exactly what happens. This goes well. You're gonna kill this guy. Don't worry. You're fine. Don't stress it. Before that
Don't worry,
happens,
you're gonna kill this guy.
I do need you both to roll me an awareness check. I know that every time I've said the session, roll an awareness check, something gets gone wrong. Don't panic. Just roll an awareness check.
My awareness check is absolutely horrifyingly terrible, but we'll
It's
see
okay.
how that
It's
goes.
okay. Everything's fine. Everything's
Oh,
fine.
hey, I got
You're
2
gonna be
successes.
fine.
Never mind. And an icon on the awareness skill
not
check, so
great.
that's 5. Surprising.
Okay.
3.
So, Barris, you're a bit too far away. You line up the shot on the guy. As you, Aria, see the guy on the ground who's been cut open with the naginata, has the las gun up, brings his finger off the trigger, up to his head, and taps a radio. Barris, you're too far to hear anything. Aria, you're close enough that you, A, hear what he says. Target is in the open. And then C, just briefly, a faint glint in the distance. Before. Aria, what's your defense again?
2.
No.
Well,
Wait.
before. A shot rings out and slams into your armor through the side rib, buckles you to the ground as hard as possible. As a bolt rifle round slams through your side torso, and you hit the ground, eyes bleary, and blood already leaving the wound. And more than that, fucking angry. From a very distance away, a figure leans out from their prone position, from the scope of their bolt rifle. Taps their helmet Voxcom once. This is Sorkesh. I'm engaging. Rendering targets permanently silent. And with that, we're gonna bring tonight's episode to a bit of a cliffhanger end.
What?
As Barris watches Aria take a sniper round and hit the ground.
No chance for reflex, no chance for anything else, just wow, alright, cool.
Oh,
Ow!
you're
Ow!
not dead. Don't worry. You're not dead. You're fine. You were gonna take some damage. A lot of it. Do you want to know how much now? I'll tell you how much now if you want to know how much now.
You medicate yourself?
Hey,
I
no, don't ask for it because next session is my birthday and you can't kill my favorite characters on my birthday. No one
Okay,
can
sure. Well,
I'm just a little guy.
then I'll make this very simple. As we went a bit late tonight, friends, this has been, let's say, a drama-filled episode of By a Shadowed Peace. But before we leave for the night, I want to give all of my lovely players a chance to tell me who they are, how they're feeling, and what else they have going on in the very near future. I ask only that you keep it to the very briefest bit. If we can get anybody who has to get some sleep, off with some sleep. That said, we'll go in the same order we went last time. Probably. I forgot what the order was. We'll figure it out. Turk, I know you're first, though.
It's me. I'm Turk, or Turk accented if you count me first among equals, or Twerk the accented if you pay attention to the chat, which I will be naming myself as soon as I'm out of streamer mode. I've been
That's
playing
the streamer
Zadkiel Delos. I want everyone. Someone's gotta pick up that phone because it's been ringing all night. I don't know what. Like, can someone pick that up? Because I called it. Oh, perfect. Anyway, Zadkiel is very concerned. I am going to have a great time as a player engaging with this concept, but oh my gosh, finding out that there is potentially a a double front in which we are being engaged at by Astartes units, Chaos Astartes units. Wow. I've only known my two human friends for so long, but if anything happens to them, I'm going to kill everyone, and then call an exterminatus on the planet. That's not true, but I feel that way. Anyway, if you want to see more of me, Torque Accented, in more things, you can find me here on the Allies, where I'm the GM of some things and a player in a lot of others. And you can also jump over to Lost Caravan, where I'm also a GM of some things and a player in a lot of others. Over here I do more 5e and 40k related things, as well as some Lancer, which we just did a first recording of. I'll get a little thing there. And over on Lost Caravan, I do a bit more Call of Cthulhu, Cypher system for our continuation of Nova campaigns, and some other interesting one-shots coming up in the future with some longer-term campaigns if you're a fan of Old Gods of Appalachia. Anyway, y'all are incredible. This cast blows me away every time. Honestly, my notes are just all in uppercase. So that speaks to the session's strength. Keep being the people I know you can be. Take it away, a person who goes next that I've forgotten.
I'm pretty sure it was Michelle, right? I'm so good at things.
It's all good. Hi, I'm Michelle. I don't exist on the internet, so don't look for me anywhere there.
Apart from
Hi,
right now.
I played Aria Yun, who just got shot. It's fine. Everything's fine. Why are you dying, Mike?
The way you said that. Oh. Oh.
What? Alright, well anyways, I had a lot of fun. That was kind of shocking, but also very fun. That was pretty fun. But yeah, you should enjoy. I don't know. I'm a little scrambled right now. Let's pass it on to I actually don't know who's next. It's either Dan or Meg, and I've got a 50-50 shot. So I think it's Dan though.
We're gonna say it's Dan.
Alright, I think you're correct. But hey, I'm Lan the Dan. I played Barris tonight. I watched Aria get shot. But if you want to see more of me for some reason, you can find me in The World Within You, which is our Persona, The World Ends With You, and Jet Set Radio-inspired Voidheart Symphony campaign that we run every fourth Monday under the wise leadership of Legendary Vermin. Michelle and I are both in it, as well as some other Neon Lights mainstays. And then maybe there's some more stuff coming down the road. Who knows? But yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at LandTheDan. I have a Blue Sky. I don't use it a ton. I don't know how common that is.
Nah, it's mood.
But yeah, LandTheDan. 3 words, 9 letters, no spaces.
I like that. Good, catchy. Market that. Put it on a t-shirt somewhere. Speaking of t-shirts, I want one with Meg's face on it, and that's my segue.
Yeah.
With my face.
Megway?
Aww. Megway. Hi, I'm Meg and/or Meg Mysteria. I got to play Lara Telone, whose boyfriend died, and now I've got a pretty rock with his soul in it. It's a nice souvenir, I guess. Anyway, you can find me
Sorry about
on
the boyfriend
Twitch.
murdering.
Yeah, well, it's not the first time.
True.
You can find me on Twitch, on Twitter, on Itch, and Blue Sky. As far as what I've got going on and coming up next, you can find me on Singularity Roleplay on the 9th for our next episode of Gay Camp, better known as Camp Runner's Cross, where I am tormenting my players because now we've moved on from gay camp drama to 80s slasher movie. And it's going to be a lot of fun because now I get to actually torment them.
I've heard this twice now. Are those not the same things?
Well, technically, no.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
But they are now. That was, listen.
But it's going to be a lot of fun. So if you're interested in like 80s slasher movies, come join us. Yeah. We're getting into the Friday 13th with, queer kids. It'll be
Exciting.
great. I may or may
Anything
not have.
more?
Nope. We'll end with that. Now we throw it back to Philly's finest, Fox.
Oh, that's me. Oh, shit. Hi, Fred. I'm Foxy, a.k.a. Big Foxy, also known as Fox Philly's Finest. I'm on the internet at Young Foxy. It's YUNGFOXXI. Sometimes no underscore in the middle, so if you can't find one, look for the other one. I do all kinds of cool stuff here, usually right here on Neon Lights Roleplay. The most important places you'll probably see me coming up sometime soon are going to be for Stardust Ghosts, our lovely romp through No Amount of Armor, written by Legendary Vermin. It's an all BIPOC, femme, non-binary cast telling a story about countering fascism with the horrors of psychic powers and the strength of love. And a couple useless lesbians, but we'll get to that later. Outside of that, I do all kinds of other things, namely this show right here you just watched, which I run, if you couldn't tell. But I don't have to try too hard because I have awesome players who do incredibly lovely things. I just get to, occasionally murder their boyfriends or threaten their siblings or shoot them in the chest, and then, they do the rest for themselves. It's great. So, yeah, that said, Neon Lights Roleplay is always locked in and safe and ready for you guys. So please, if you have not already, check out our Discord. A link is popping up in the Twitch chat right about literally now. If you want to keep up with what we're doing, please check our socials out. Links are always right there available too for our Twitter and other things we have. If our YouTube tribe, you want to see other shows we got going on. We have a huge roster of things coming to you for the rest of the month and next month. It's gonna be a great time. Come see us there. We'll be back in exactly 2 weeks. That's right, 2 weeks, not 4, for your next time Fire Shadow Piece. You'll all be there, and we'll be there with you. Turk, sing us out.
Here we go. Follow me to a
recount the intro.
world of rain oblivion.